Well, I think at this point it has been established I have a problem as I have acquired another tractor. I'm not sure whether it's more of a problem or an addiction or just a hobby. Hey guys, how's it going? We got a new tractor, as you guys saw by that little beginning. This is a 1980, I believe, John Deere 212. Don't really know a whole lot about it. Bought it off a guy I know. He bought it, I want to say he had it about a year. He took it to the auction place, which is right up the road from me. I'm not going to say what it is for obvious reasons. Took it up there to sell it. He didn't like the price he was getting for it, what people were offering for it, or what it got to close to the end of the auction, so he bought it back. And, well, contacted me, because he goes past my house anyway to go to that place, because my house is en route pretty much. He asked me, he goes, do you want a tractor, or do you want a 212? I want to say he held me at gunpoint, but I'm not going to say that because then people might take it literally. And asked me if I wanted a 212. I really didn't, but I thought at the same time, well, if I do, that would be one more closer to having the full 200 series. So right now, all I'm missing is a 200, which, not bad. And plus, the price of it was alright, so I said, why the hell not, sure. So, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it runs. I don't know if the engine cranks. I just know that this is the 7th or 8th 212 I have owned. And the 212 was actually the first tractor a 212 was the first tractor I ever bought. That one was an 86. Same year as my 86 216. So yeah. So I guess let's go on ahead, and since it's warm outside and it's nice in the shop, we'll take some time and look this little pest over and we'll see what we figure out about it. So when I got it, 3 of the 4 tires had air in them. That one had air, that one had air, that one had air, that one over there didn't. And as I walk around it and I check it, it's been in here for roughly an hour setting. And it seems like all 4 tires still have air. That one's kind of low, but I guess it's alright. Steer's good. It did sit outside, and people did play with it at the auction, I would imagine. So, and here's the auction tag. We can go ahead and take that off. Let's cut this bastard. There we go. It's got the wrong steering wheel on it. That's the steering wheel for a 100 series. However, this one has a 100 series steering wheel on it, which, oh well. That moves, but it's kind of stiff. That's how much play it has. Variator lever's stuck, the button is. PTO moves. It actually moves. That's cool. Headlight stuck. Choke is stuck. Probably moves. I have to feel a cable. Now we get to the fun parts. Yummy. It smells old. We got some old gas to dispose of. I'm watching the pulley in here, seeing if it moves in all the gears. In all the gears it moved a little bit, so that's good. Bring the camera over here, actually. So let's go on ahead and let's take a peek at what we see under here. Still got that. That's nice. That looks good. No battery, I see. Lead looks new. Leads actually don't look too bad. Wiring is factory, but it looks okay. I don't see any crimp connectors in there anyway. Throttle, choke cable, throttle cable's down below. Throttle moves, but it's stuck. Oh, there it is. Yep, that moves. I guess it was weather seized a little bit. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not. What's this? Oh, that's for the throttle. That's neat. I never thought of doing that. Can't check the fluid in the rear end, so we'll just check the fluid. We'll just check the engine oil. A little bit. Got something. What do you think? We are right on the fill mark. Or add mark, right on low. We'll just say low. So I'm gonna go on ahead and guess that it burns oil. And yeah, that's unfortunate, but oh well. Let's see if that engine turns over. We should pull this off so we can look in there and see if there's any mouse nest. That is the next step. Let me grab my impact driver and a 7/16 socket, and we will get that took off there and get that fixed. So let's see, how hard are these gonna be? I'm wondering if they've been in there since the tractor was new. I don't know if it's ever been repainted or not. It's kind of hard to say. I haven't really seen any indications on it at all. I would say it was. Or even this would say it wasn't. Well, the bolts came out, which is nice. I thought there was a washer on that. How hard is this going to be to get off? That was the hardest thing in the world. Got a metal screen. That's just what I wanted to see. Put that over there. Don't see. Never mind. I do see some evidence up here of little bastards getting into it. We're gonna have to take the spark plug out. However, in order to really see what is in there, let me grab a screwdriver. See if we can get that out of there. The other thing I'm noting I have not done yet, I have not tried turning this engine over yet. Actually, it just turned. If the engine does turn, I don't want to disturb what's up here. I want to see what's up there before I disturb it. And this is just the way I'm going to do it. It might even just be shit that got caught in that flywheel over time. I really don't want to have to pull that. If I have to pull that shroud, I'm going to have to pull the engine to get that shroud off, which is irritating. Yeah, none of them are coming off. Well, let's pop that top cover off around the spark plug. We'll see if there is anything in there that we see. And while we're in there, we'll check that plug. That's the one thing I don't like about these 1 in 200 series, is that fact that you have to pull the engine in order to take that front shroud off. The Kohler are all like that, even on the 100 series. On the 140s, you have to pull the engine because of the drive shaft. Now on the 100 series, if you have a 110 with the 8 horse Kohler, or even a 208 or 200 with the 8 horse Kohler, you don't have to pull the front shroud off. But for these bigger ones, you do. And looking in there, I actually don't see, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look. It's still got some air. We'll keep that in mind. I do want to pull that plug. It's not loose. And I do want to just look at it and see how that plug looks. And yes, the right thing to do would be to clean the front out and get all the shit out of it and see how much is in there. But at the moment, I cannot get that off. And I'm not quite ready to get in there just yet. Grass and shit on it. That's one other thing I was afraid of, yeah. I don't feel anything in there, and that came out, so cool. Just trying to keep everything away from it. Shouldn't have pulled that plug out. The plug looks okay. It's definitely got some oil residue on it. So yeah, it's been burning quite a bit of oil. Not sure how well y'all can see that. Come on, focus. There you go. Yeah, see, that's got quite a bit of oil residue on it. Let me take that up front, clean it on the wire wheel. And once I clean that on the wire wheel, I guess we can throw a battery in here and we can see what it does. So let's go on ahead and let's take a look at this. In here is our air filter. That's what we're going for first. Check that, make sure it has one. See how it looks and it's not filled with mouse shit. Still got a bottom. It's not rusted through. That could be bad, or actually that could be good. I already see shit falling out. Okay. That's a little bit deteriorated, don't you think? What do I happen there? I don't think that's from mice. It could be. That's choked. It could very well be from mice. I don't know. I don't really see a whole lot in there that would really scream mice to me. I think the next thing I want to do, that filter looks brand new. It doesn't smell like rodents either. It's obviously been in there for a while because, well, the pre-filter has fallen apart. If that was mice, I would be seeing mouse shit everywhere, which I'm not seeing any mouse shit anywhere. So, I mean, that's a tough one. Let's just leave that alone for right now. Let's put it back together and leave it be. Maybe the next thing we'll do is try and get that choke cable unstuck. Maybe. I think the muffler's got a hole in it somewhere. It might. Because I see light in there through it. Weird. So, what do we want to do now? Let's throw a battery in it. And let's live dangerously. And while we're living dangerously, we'll see if it cranks or see if the key switch is even good. I don't think it came with a key, so I'm going to have to grab one. So yeah. So here's an update on things. I got a battery hooked up in there. Here's a new key. Let's see if it... Oh, that's right, light switch is stuck. Well, I don't see any movement from the voltmeter. Ready? Okay. The voltmeter does work, it's just not. But yeah. Wow. Simple. I doubt it's drawing any gas. I doubt it has spark, but I guess those are the next things that we're gonna find out. I'm gonna leave that plug in there and grab a different one for more obvious reasons. And then once I grab another plug, let's see if we have spark or not. Ready? See what we got. Nothing, which I expected. I didn't expect to have spark. So where do we start first? Let's start with, we got to do the points, which are on the front of the engine. And in order to get to them, you got to take that airbox off, which since we're taking the airbox off, we might as well take that carb off, which I don't want to do. So yeah, let me get the airbox off of it, and then once I get the airbox taken off of it, we'll get in there and we'll check the points and see what the points look like. But yeah, I would say other than that, that was pretty easy. So let's see about taking this out of here. We just had this off earlier. We should have left this off. Since we'll be in there anyway, I want to take a look at the carb and I want to see if it looks new. Actually, now that I look at it, we don't need to take that off. Right here's the points cover. Oh, that's unfortunate. They put the one on bottom. Let me grab the longer screwdriver. I'm really leaning towards my theory of this engine's never been out of here before because never been worked on or touched, because most people don't put this screw back because it's a pain in the ass to get to, and I am one of those people who don't bother with the screw. And not putting it in, I have not lost a cover yet. Are we on it? I think we are. But I haven't lost a cover yet by not doing it, so. For those of you who think you need them, you don't. As long as you keep the top screw tight, it'll be fine. It's just a matter of, again, getting on it. Am I on it? I feel like it's not there. I can't find it. Where is it? Trying to figure out where it is. I had to have had it at some point in time. I had to have gotten on it and turned it. I think I just did. Yes. Let that fall out. There we go. But yeah, that one's a pain in the ass to get to, and I will not be putting it back on. Look at that. Them points look brand new. I wonder if someone tried getting it running and just gave up on it. Points are moving. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of sandpaper and I'm going to open the contacts. You can use a file for this, or sometimes you get away with using a feeler gauge. But doing that will clean the contacts. You can see that right there. And in return, help it spark. So now, if I watch, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we now have spark. After doing that, I saw it on the points, I saw it jumping across. Whether the camera saw it or not is your guess is as good as mine. right now. So let's jump up here. Let's throw the plug back on it and see if we have spark. And if we do, we will put some fuel in the cylinder, see if we can get it to run, and if it will run off of what's in the tank. If it doesn't, we'll pull the carb, and while we're pulling the carb, we'll drain the fuel tank, because I'm sure it needs it. So what do y'all think? Do you think we're gonna have spark at the plug? I think we should. I don't see why we wouldn't. But I've seen it where it sparks at the points before and not the plug. Ready? We got spark up here at the plug. Cool. So we'll pop that out. It's still tight. Next motive of business is going to be pull the plug out. It's not wet. Dribble a little bit of gas in the cylinder. See what happens. This is a mix of two-stroke, or this is two-stroke gas. You can use regular pump gas if you want. I like running two-stroke and stuff that has been sitting for a while. I won't fill the tank with it. However, I fill a little squirt bottle and I'll dribble some into it, enough for the engine to fire off of. And that two-stroke will lubricate it a little bit, enough to help, you know, things move around and not run dry. So let's see what happens. It's fully choked because the choke is stuck and I have it throttled down. Ready? So, analysis. It'll run. We need to figure out the fuel system. And also, after the fuel system, we need to figure out the, well, yeah, we got to figure out the variator, we got to figure out the choke, lever, and the throttle. We got to figure out the transmission, if all that works. So yeah, move the camera back. Let's get the stuff taken off of the carb. On second thought, well, let's just do it, because I know for a fact if I don't, I'm going to end up having to. So we'll just do that now, get it took care of. Ignition's fine. I'm leaving it alone. It has spark and cranks and ram for a little bit. So we should be fine there. So I'm going to fire the ultrasonic cleaner up just so it can warm up. And then as it's warming up, we'll get the carb taken off of here, and yeah, get that aspect of things done. Alright, not sure where I should have that, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Should be able to get all these. Oh, heck's head. It is unfortunate, it has oil residue in it. I'm hoping it's not burning as much as some of them I've seen. Trying to be minimalistic what I do with it in case that engine ends up being done. Yeah, see that. A lot of stuff came out of it. I'm trying to just be minimalistic. I want to figure out if it runs, and once I figure out if it runs, how it runs, that'll be what makes me decide what I want to do with it, I guess. I don't know if it's gonna stick around or not, because I really don't want stuff just sitting around. No gasket between the carb and the airbox. That's great. Yeah, see, there's some shit in here. Just a little bit of shit. That's just great. Not a lot. I can feel the fins in there. And it feels like It might be nest material. I do see a little bit of fur in it. It could be what it's pulled up over time. It really would not surprise me if there were mice in there at some point in time. I don't really feel anything else in there besides that. I don't really see anything in there either. It actually looks pretty clean. So I'm just gonna hope that little bit got in there over time. This is the crankcase breather, and as you can see, it's falling apart. So yeah, that needs something done with it. Oh, do you see? Oh, you see everything. Cool. Come up here. There we go. And then with that removed, we can take the fuel line off, which I figured it was stuck, so we'll just cut it. And we do need to see if that pump is good. I don't see why it wouldn't be. What is it? Is it metal? No, plastic. I don't know. I don't know if the pump's any good or not. It's been a while since I've really messed with one, to be honest with you. I don't see any evidence of fuel being pumped. I know there's fuel in it, so I'm just going to go on ahead and say it's bad. Grab a screwdriver, and we'll get that out. Let's see about that one came off easy. And the nice thing about these is you don't have to pull the bolts out completely, because on both sides it's grooved. So that one's loose, and I'll just take this one out since I can see it and the camera can see it. Then once it comes out, swing it to the side, pull it out, knock that over, pull down. There you go. So that's not stuck. So that tells me that portion of it's good. It's just that is stuck. Whoa, it's got a lot of rust in it. And then that moves. It's got a little bit of play in it. There was some water in it at some point in time. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Let's take it over to the bench, get it pulled apart, and then yeah. So let's see. It looks alright. Oh, okay. I expected worse. Although, you know, if we didn't do that, we would have to anyway, and it would be even worse. It would be junk. That's not getting stuck. That looks good. That looks good. Oh, well, the gasket's done. We need an O-ring. We'd have had a leak. We needed an O-ring anyway. It's just spinning around at this point. There we go. Take that jet out, if it'll come out. That guy came out. Another thing I've seen before is take a look at the tips of the jets and make sure they're not busted up or mushroomed or broken off. I've had them broken off and mushroomed before. This one, this main jet, people will take them and tighten them down with screwdrivers, which is not good. And you over torque them and it mushrooms and bends and breaks this tip off. Same with this jet. This one looks good. I don't have any complaints. It looks alright. So it's okay if you use a flathead screwdriver to adjust it out so you can see how far you've turned it. Put the screwdriver in half of the side. But I don't advise using them to take those out. I doubt that's going to come out, but I'm willing to give it a shot and see. I'm thinking what I'm going to do if it doesn't come out easily. I'm just going to soak it for a while, warm it up. That way it makes it easier to come out. No, I'm going to stop. That's not going to come out. So we'll just leave that alone, and then we'll try soaking it. And we'll see if soaking it warms it up and it makes it come out easier. I want to take that out. You don't really have to strip it this far down. I am, but that's because I want to check everything. That looks clean. But no, you really don't have to strip it all the way down as far as I am. Like I said, I just want it to be, I just want to make sure that it's good. That looks new. That won't come out. So I'll let that soak. Everything goes in. That can stay out here for a minute. I'll check the float. Float floats. Cool. And hopefully when I bring it back out, it'll still be floating. So we're going to let that run, and once it's done running, I will bring all of you back. Let's get this carb put back together. Took it up front after I pulled it out of that. It's all done and ready for the most part to go back together. Float never sank, which is good. That can go back on there. That can go back in there. I don't know if I'm going to polish inside of there or not. I should, but it actually looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to leave that alone. And we'll just say it should be fine. So hopefully my judgment is correct and it ends up being fine. Because I would be very happy if I don't have to do anything with it at all. I wanted a chair. I wanted to sit. One thing I like to do with these is I'll take the jets and I'll polish them, clean up the surfaces and everything with the wire wheel, especially the points where they contact other surfaces, just to help them contact better, and that way there's a clean surface there for it to contact. Smooth and whatever. There we go. That's in. goes in all the way. Stops on that thing. Stops on there. Yep. There we go. Throw that in there. Throw that in there. I'll let that go back in. Oh, idiot. Never tighten that down. And now that you mention that, we gotta tighten the fitting down too. There we go. Take that. There. So then we come over here. We play the game of thief. We're not stealing it, we're just borrowing it. We're borrowing it for a different purpose. There we go. Throw that in there. Throw that on there. Take that. Tighten that down. Like so. And we'll just crank on that. There we go. There. That's good. Throttle moves. Has a little bit of slop to it, but it's alright. Choke moves. This needs to be tightened up. There we go. That is all put back together for the most part. So now all we need to do is put this on the tractor, and yeah. So one thing I want to do is I want to test this fuel pump, and I want to see if it works before I go any further. So let's try cranking the engine a little bit and see if we can pump in some fuel. I don't see it pumping anything, and I know there's gas in it, so that's great. So I think I want to just go on ahead and drain, well actually, before I drain that gas, I was going to say I think I'm going to drain the tank, but before I do that, let's just see what happens if we come in here. I mean, I don't really care, the gas in it's old. We're just going to take it and pull these lines. These more than likely need to be replaced, so we should be careful. Yeah. Oh well, I kind of expect I'm gonna have to change these anyway. There we go. Yeah, that line broke like I thought it would. I can change that though, that's not really a problem. As long as I don't have to pull the entire, as long as I don't have to pull the back, I'll be fine. Yeah, that line's shot. It could even have just been the line was a problem. Fuel's coming through it though. Not very fast. Look at that. That's great. That doesn't. Holy shit. Let's throw this cup under here. Once we get it cleaned out, let's just see what we're getting out of it, shall we? That looks like water. I think right now we're getting water out of it. That's water. Yeah, we're getting water out of it now. I thought it had water in it. Yeah, that's got water in the fuel system. Maybe it's a good thing that pump wasn't pumping. So I don't know if that pump's even working or not. I almost don't think it is. I'm gonna drain that fuel system out. I might even just push it outside and let it drip into the driveway. That's water. I think all the fuel came out of it earlier and hit me. So I'll just let that drain for a while, and then once it's done draining, bring you back. So I got the fender pan loosened up on here. I think I'm just gonna go on ahead and pull the fuel tank. I haven't tried taking the fender pan off completely yet. It is loosened though. All the knobs and everything are off that need to be in order to take it off here. It's been a little bit since I've taken one off, however, I think I should, for the most part, remember how. There you go. That's the first time I've ever seen one of these, actually. I'll just stick the jumper back in. I wonder if this still has the mounts. Oh, it doesn't. Usually they come with mounts, but I see this one is missing the mounts that hold it from coming out. There we go. There. Grab a pair of cutters. And I think while I have it out, I am going to clean it. Just rinse it out, and that's probably going to be it. Let me do that. Not really something worth filming. I've done it on camera before. All I'm doing is spraying the tank with water and then filling it with water, shaking it around and dumping it. It's not that hard or that interesting to film. So there's a few things on here that I've noticed that I want to try and free up when it comes to knobs, such as the choke knob on here is frozen. Also this knob here is stuck. However, you can move this, but it is pretty difficult to move. And then this knob over here is stuck. I want to see if we can free these up. And usually the way that I get into freeing, that's not gonna move. The way that I get into freeing them up is you just throw a pair of channel locks on them and just turn them a little, like that. Be careful, you know, you don't want to break anything, but at the same time, you want it to move a little bit. Now you can see, that's turning now. So I freed it up on the little linkage, which is actually what I was wanting to do. See, now I can pull up on it. But I pulled up on it. I don't know if the spring's any good or not. That's what we're gonna find out. The spring still looks good. I'm not gonna pull it out for obvious reasons. So we're gonna take a little bit of oil. We're just gonna put it in there and coat everything. And then we'll throw this back in. Hopefully it'll, there it goes. So right now, yeah, I was gonna say right now it should be locked. And then the oil should go down that shaft. And it should, I don't want to tighten it too tight, but I don't want it loose at the same time. But we wanted it to move on its own, where you don't have to pull up on it. That's what we want. One thing you could do, and what I should have done, is take that, clean it up a little bit to help it slide around a little bit easier in there. But it is moving easier. Nope, it just went all the way down. It was moving easy. There's a little spring in there that should be pushing it back up, but I don't believe that spring is exactly pushing it back up like it's supposed to. So I'm going to just go on ahead and assume the spring is no good. We'll just pull it back up for now. It's oiled though, the linkages, so that should be, for the most part, good to go. That doesn't budge. The lever does, but this doesn't. So again, we'll just get on it with the channel locks, vice grips, channel locks, whatever. And we'll just wiggle it back and forth like that. Now I'm not going to take the button off on here, because there's no reason to. Oh, that broke. Shit. Although, not very it works. I guess that's good. Shit. That's unfortunate. It's on there now. It's got a little bit of threads. We'll just do that, maybe it'll stay. Shh, don't tell anybody. So that's took care of. That needs a spring. This I can live with, and it works. It didn't come off when I pulled on it, so that's good. So this one, I'm not expecting it to go, but actually, what we got to get moving is the linkage inside. How easy is that going to be though? Is the question. I thought it was stuck up here. Maybe it's not. It might be stuck in the linkage, actually. One thing you could do is spray the line down with some WD-40. I don't have any of that out here at the moment. I'd like to get some. I don't have any at the moment. And the throttle we said worked, so. But right there I can see where it's rusty, and where it's rusty there is more than likely where it's stuck. Hopefully some of that oil will make its way down there. Yeah, it's just turning the entire assembly. I wonder if I was to hold that and turn this. I kind of figured that's what it was doing. It's just turning the entire assembly. Yeah. I can't get that to stay. So sometimes you can get it to break free if you're careful. There we go. We know it's not stuck there now. And it is this moving, it's not the thing because I'm currently holding it. There it goes, it moved a little. It went up a little bit. There we go. We're getting it. We're getting somewhere with it. Not exactly there yet, but we're getting somewhere. I wonder if we were to push it down. And now it's moving the entire housing again, which is not what I wanted. I wanted it. If we push down on it, it wants to. Okay. Can I get over that? Yes. I'm trying to get the linkage to move without breaking it, if that makes sense. It's moving. There it goes. How far down is that supposed to go? That actually might be how far down it's supposed to go. So it doesn't, to me, seem low enough. I think it needs to go down a little more than that. But, yeah. It moves. So, choke's freed up, throttle was free, the variator lever is free, the button on the lift lever's free, but it's not perfect. But to be honest, it never was. So, oh well. So yeah, we gotta put a spring in that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find one. I probably have one around here somewhere. Come to think of it, I think I do. I think I have one on my desk in the house. I might have to grab that. But there we go, we got all those linkages freed up. So I guess the next thing to do is get that fuel tank back in there and get the fuel line to run, get it running again. So here's another thing that needs to be done. Went over there and grabbed one of these. There we go. Now we've got ourselves a little throttle thing for the throttle. Yay! So I want to test that pump, and I want to see if that fuel pump on there is any good, because I really don't want to have to take that off there if I don't have to, because I don't want to ruin that gasket. Plus it's just, in all honesty, a pain in the ass. It's not too hard, but you know, I just don't want to do it, if that makes sense. So we're going to throw that on that fitting. We'll just set our little, we'll just set our little thing right here. Let's see if it pumps any at all. If it does, cool. Ready? Where's the key? The key switch doesn't really feel all that great to me. There it is. Ready? it to take gas, but it wants to come off my bottle. The lid wants to come off the bottle. No, it doesn't. There we go. Ready? It is not pulling it. Now it's up higher than the pump. So the pump should pull it in. Which it is not. So, unless it's because we don't have any air, that could be it. There's no air getting in the line. Yeah, that's true. Because the bottle's closed off completely. I didn't even think about that till just now. So I guess one thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take that. Do I want to flip that upright? I should. Just go in there and flip that upright and then get on it with. And then once we get in there and flip that, there we go. There we go, look at that. And then let me grab a line and we'll put some gas in it. Or what we could do, fill this with gas and then take it off our little bottle. There we go. There we go, that should have a little bit of gas in it now. Yep. Let's see if that pumps it or not. It went down, but I never saw it come out. It's not going into the crankcase, I hope. Let's just watch it for a minute. I just pumped a little more in it. Yeah, I'm not getting any kind of reaction from it, so I'm just gonna go on ahead and assume that it's not working. Man, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to take that fuel pump off, because that is a pain in the ass to clean that gasket out. But, well, guess we're taking the fuel pump off. Oh well. It had to have been done anyway. So let's just get in here and do that. It's just a couple of Phillips head screws. I noticed it went down a little bit, the line. I'm seriously hoping that it's not going into the crankcase. It looked like it was pulsing, like it was pumping. Oh, maybe I was seeing things. Or maybe it was. That one feels kind of odd. Wow, it's screwed. Shit. Feels like someone cross-threaded that one. That's always what I want. Of course, they had to use Phillips heads on these. That's actually factory. That's not something someone did. That's factory. They put Phillips heads on. They're easy to get to, but the only problem is these just strip out so easily. That's the only downside to them. You can't put pressure on it because, well, it'll roll the tractor back. Throw it in gear. Sometimes that'll help a little bit. don't think this has been out before. I seriously don't think this tractor has had very much work done to it in its life. Oh yeah, look at that. There's your problem. The end of the screws broke off. That's not even the right screw. Wait a minute here. No. Look at that. That's a different screw. That's the correct one right there. This is something different. Someone's been in there. We're gonna have to change that oil if I have to clean off this gasket, because I have no doubt that shit's gonna get inside that crankcase. Unless this is plugged up. Let's take this fuel pump apart and let's just see what we find. Maybe we'll figure something out. So let's go on ahead and let's see about getting this fuel pump took apart and what it'll entail. Should just be these 4 screws. I don't know if we're going to run it through the cleaner or not. I guess depending on what it looks like inside. It should be a diaphragm on bottom with 2 check valves up here. I don't have to. I don't want to put a new pump on it. I believe I have another head upstairs I could throw on here. Yeah, see, something's plugged up because it just released a lot of pressure. I felt it, and I also just got squirted by it. There's a joke there, and I'm sure somebody will make it. So let's see. Yeah, that's stuck. Like I thought. Look at that. Yeah, that's your fuel system. I think it is safe to say this diaphragm is done. Although, well, actually it still moves. It still moves okay. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's up here. And of course there's no way that I know of getting these out. That one right there is the one that lets fuel out and goes up to the carb. This is the one that allows fuel to come in from the tank. That right there goes to, or that comes down when this diaphragm comes down, and that brings fuel in. When the diaphragm starts going up, it opens this valve which pushes it out to the carb. And the diaphragm right there is run off of the crankshaft, and like I said, it pulls that like so. That's how the fuel pump on one of these K-series work. Now one thing I want to do is I'm actually going to run this through here. I would hold off to do this until tomorrow, but it's currently warm still, so I'm just going to go on ahead and run it tonight and get that done. It's currently late, so this will probably be the last thing I do tonight, and then we'll get back into it tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully once we get that cleaned up, this I don't really think needs anything, but I'm just going to throw it in there anyway. I'm going to grab the other. This line probably won't come off here without a fight, but I'm willing to give it a shot anyway, I guess. Maybe it'll come off. Nah. We'll throw that in there, let that warm it up, let it soak, and once it warms up and we let it soak, we will get back into it. But for now, I'm going to let that run, and then I'm going to go in for the night because it's getting late and I have stuff to do. So let's go on ahead and let's get back into this. I let this soak overnight and then during the day. So yeah, I figured I would get into it and it'd be all covered in shit. Oh well. I'm gonna take it in the house and I'm gonna rinse it, and then once I take, actually on second thought, oh good, this is pliable. Can we get this to come off? Yes. Cool. I'm gonna take that in the house, rinse it, and then I wanna wash it, or then I wanna blow it out with the air compressor. So let's go on ahead and see about getting this pump put back together. I believe we should be able to use that gasket again. Let it go. This is in. That's in. One way to tell which is in and which is out, that pulls in. When this gets pulled down, bringing fuel in, that one right there gets pushed up, sending fuel out when the plunger comes back up, like that. So that's one way to tell. So we want to put it like that. It's pretty simple to get it back together. Should be. Another thing I saw on here is this is made in USA. I was thinking this was made in China, looking at it being plastic, but no, apparently not. So that's cool. Let me grab another. One of these two is bound to work. It's just a matter of which. That one. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I'm not sure of a good way to test it. I can tell it's pushing. I would say it's doing something. It better be doing something at least. This one's out. So it goes like that. There we go. This one's in. This is coming in from the tank or the back of the tractor. So we want to go and be careful because this is plastic. Not the fittings, but this. Cool. Let me grab a little thing of gas. I just want to make sure it's pumping. Now, one thing about these pumps, I will warn you, they squirt a lot. So you'll want to, it's pulsing. Yeah, look at that. Or it was. So it's doing something. Cool. There's not really a way to. There we go. I saw it pulsing, but I did before too, and it wasn't drawing anything up. Let's try that. Let's see, getting. There we go. It's, yep, look at that. It works. See? Now, I don't know if you saw that on camera or not, but see, it pumps. We got us a working pump. Cool. So now we'll throw this back on the tractor. And another thing to check is it's not leaking down here, which I don't see. So yeah, we got us a working pump. Cool. Let's get it thrown back on the tractor. So one thing that we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to figure out a gasket for this pump. I think we're just gonna play it in a dangerous way and temporarily throw it in there without putting a gasket on it. Yes, I know it's gonna leak oil out, but I truly, at the moment, don't care. It's gonna leak a little bit of oil. However, at the same time, I wanna test it and I wanna make sure that it's working good. And hopefully, once we find out it's working good, we can go on ahead and ease it a little bit. I would imagine it should work just fine, but there we go. We've got it. Come on. I think we just found the hole. Let me grab the other screw. So the other ones I put in there are Phillips head. However, this one is a flathead. And I know I said I don't like to, the one thing I don't like to do is mismatch things. The other screw on there, like I said, is a Phillips head bit. This one's a flathead. Reason that I'm using a different screw compared to the one that I had in there before is, well, the one we had in there before was a pain to get out, and also it was stripping the head, which I don't want to do. So we're going to throw this guy in here and hope that he works, which so far seems like he is. Cool. Then we'll tighten the other one down, and once we tighten this guy down, there we go. And then here's the bolt that we pulled out, or the screw that we pulled out of there previously. As you can see, the head of it's all marred up, and also the threads are kind of shot and it's bent. That's what we pulled out of there before. So yeah, we could actually tweak that out a little bit. Let me do that. We'll throw the carb back on it, and once we throw the carb back on it, I guess we can see about, well, we got to run a fuel line, come to think of it. And I did rinse that fuel tank out, and I did let it sit overnight. So that should be, for the most part, took care of and ready to go back on the tractor. So that should be done. We'll throw that back on there, run a fuel line. And yeah, I really can't think of anything else to do except for that at this point. So let me move the camera, and I'm gonna throw that carb back on there. You guys watched me take it off before. It's not that hard to do. And once I put the carb back on there, I want to adjust this out just a little bit. And once I do that, we'll run a line from there to there. And yeah. So let's see. Come in here. Now I like having clear fuel lines so I can see when things are getting gas. There are some people who do and some people who don't. I like them. If you don't, sue me. So we'll throw that on there like so. And then I'm gonna run down there. I should have enough line here to run a line all the way back. I'm not gonna put a filter in it because the tank already has a built-in fuel filter in the little inlet on the bottom. And then yeah, once we do that, we should be all set and ready to go. So let's go on ahead and see about getting this fuel line run. Here's our line. I'm gonna have to get more of this stuff. I'm running out. Not sure how much this is going to take. That's probably more than what I need. And then I'm going to zip tie it to the frame. That way it doesn't end up getting caught in anything. Let's see if we can get this. Correct way to do it would be to wait until we have the tank in and everything primed. Hopefully, though, that being a decent pump, now after we rebuilt and cleaned it out, we should be able to pump fuel up from the tank, I hope, without help. If not, I will be really mad. So that's on the pump. Now we gotta run back here, find it in the frame. It's right there. We'll run it back. We should have more than enough. Cool. How do I want to run it? I want to run it over top of this. And over, actually, the second thought, I don't want to run it over top of that. I want to run it under this. I want to have it go to the frame. Take that out. There. So I need a couple of zip ties. There's holes in the frame for this actually. I don't think that's what they're there for, but that's what I'm going to use them for. So let me go grab those. Let's just play the game of zip tie everything. See, that's wish that it was there we go. Cool. So now we got to figure out how much line we need. That is too much. I can't remember how we run it. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these 200 series, to be completely honest with you. There's a thing right there already. We went through that. Through. There's a clamp. There we go. Just pull on it. We should have it in there tight now. Yep, we do. So that should be tight. And then we'll come in here. Could even go underneath if we wanted to. Just see where it is when I put the tank in. Where does it sit? Let's find out. If it sits under that, Yeah. Okay. So I want to run it under this frame, and then I want to cut it. I want to run it underneath of this bracket here instead. Right there. There we go. And then I'd bring you guys over here, but it would be too tight. Get the camera in here and also run the line. So that's why I don't do that. Let's run it right here. Of course, my cutters are up there. Where did I say I want to run it? Or how far I want to run it? Let's go right there. That's where we'll cut it. Once I take this off. So right there where I have my there we go. So now we can throw the gas tank back in. Hook it up. Cut it too short. That's good. I think I should have cut that line a little bit longer. Got it on there though. That's good. Yeah, I should have cut that line just a little bit longer. That's all right. Hopefully. So now we can come under here and open that valve. So I guess now the next thing to do is put some gas in that tank and see about what it does. If it goes to start or if it gives us problems. It should start. I don't see why it wouldn't start as long as it's able to get fuel. I don't think we'll have any leaks, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put enough in it. There we go. That's enough. Leaking? Not that I see. Do we have gas up here? No, we don't. Or do we? I don't know if we have any fuel in that line or not. Where's the fuel at? I'm going to throw the lid on that, wherever I put it. I can see it. There it is. And then once we do that, we can crank it some. And we will see if it tries to start. I'm just going to watch it and see if I see anything come up. I don't see any fuel coming up, so I guess I'm going to help it a little bit. Grab a pair of pliers. We're going to do a little bit of cheating and just help it come up. There we go. Should start flowing. If we didn't pinch it, I don't think we did. Maybe we just don't have enough in it. Nothing here. wonder if... Wait a minute. What's that? Oh, it does have stuff in it. I thought it did. It's just down there. I would think that should be up high enough. Oh well. I'm gonna throw that back on there. Let's see if it primes. If it doesn't, it will help it. I don't think I'll need to, but I guess we'll find out here momentarily. Ready? Yeah, it's not pulling it up. And I gotta throw that battery in the charger. I guess we'll just throw more gas in that tank. That way it'll help it prime. Could even be. Just set that up a little bit. Maybe that'll help us. What do y'all think? You think it's gonna start? Are we? Or is it not going to start? Let me plug that in. There we go. See if that helps. Ready? We're still not priming. I'm gonna fill this up a little more. We're not even halfway out. We know it's holding gas, we'll just fill it. And that'll get it up to the pump. Because that should be up high enough. And I did wash this tank out the other day, so it should be clean. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it. And see how it's going down in the front, that tells me it's filling up. I'm not sure how full we are. There we go. Yeah, that should fill it up enough. Leave that open. We don't know if that. I think we got it. It primed, it took gas, but I don't see it pumping out here to the carb. So we're gonna unhook that and see if it starts. So we're not pumping. That's interesting. Pull that off there real quick. it starts flowing yet. No. I'm not getting any flow out of it. Kind of flow out of it. That valve's not shut, is it? I wouldn't think it is. Just put it right there. Let's see what that does. It's kind of in between on both positions now. If it starts to flow, nothing. And we're below the tank, so we should be. We should have something coming out right now. Let's just try pumping it. Let's see it pumping pulse. That's interesting. We know it's pulsing, so it's pulling, and it's moving back here. Yeah, look at that. Wait a minute. It's not kinked anywhere, is it? Moves around a bit, it seems. So why isn't it? I wonder if it's this spot right here. Could very well be. It had a little bit of a, yeah, right there. I wonder if that shutoff valve is any good. I'm gonna have to adjust that. Because yeah, it feels like it was closed up right there. That's probably where our problem was. It closed up a little bit there. That's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping it would, well, there it goes, look at that. Now that I don't want it to, it starts right there. You can see how it was crushed. Yeah, see, now we're getting what we wanted to see when we didn't want to see it. And I don't think I have that valve shut. I don't think. I need another person out here. Shit. Gotta find somewhere to put this, or it's not gonna fall. Or flood. How's that? Oh, let's just put it on the coil. That seems really safe. No, I'm not gonna do that. That'd be stupid. Shit. Of course, I'm gonna have to hold it while I try to reach under here and close this valve, which is really fun. There we go. That should be closed if that was open, which it does appear it is. I hate getting out current gas. Especially with that over there humming away like it is. pitch. We've got that, yeah, now it's not. Shouldn't do that actually, I should just leave it alone. Well, let's open that valve. That valve closing came in handy for sure. And let's see. Oh, look at that. We're getting fuel. So that means it's going through. So that's good. Ooh. See if it'll start. Remember how I said we freed this up? Apparently not. Because now it's stuck again. Which is just, there we go. Unless it's not stuck. Sitting here. Trying to fight with it. I wonder, it barely moves anymore. We had it freed up yesterday. I thought. Oh, it did. Let's see now it must move. I'm gonna just unhook it. I'm gonna unhook it from up here and we'll try again. No, let's do that. I wonder if say I call that a win. Runs good. I don't see any smoke. Don't see no leaks either coming into it. Bit of gas on the bowl, but I think that's for flooding it out because I don't see anything leaking out of it. So, okay. What do you say we throw that clutch pedal on it and I don't know, maybe try driving it. Let's see about it, though. I have just made a very unfortunate discovery. It runs good. Look at all the oil everywhere. And look at the ground. We got a blown out seal. That explains why the oil's so low. That's unfortunate. So I guess that's something we'll have to change out. Depending on if I keep this one or not, I guess. I don't know. I want to check that transmission out first before I go into it any further and make sure the transmission on it's still good. And if that transmission's good, I don't see any leaks out of it, so it should be alright. All the seals and everything, but let's bring it in and we'll put the fender pan back on it since it's running, and yeah, we'll go from there. So unfortunately, I have found out, I believe the rear seal on that engine is blown, the one for the PTO side, but of course more than likely the flywheel side is not that far behind. If one's blown, usually you just go on ahead and change them both. I'm not sure at the moment if I want to go on ahead and do that yet or not. I do want to get it put back together and make sure that the transmission's still good before I make my final decision. This one has kind of been iffy to me. I thought it'd be cool to have it, keep it around for my 200 series collection I have, because currently all I'm missing now is a 200. However, this one just doesn't interest me for whatever reason. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's probably because I've had 5 or 6 212s and all of them have just kind of been the same thing. So I'm going to get the air assembly put back together, and I also want to get the fender pan back on it. So once we get all that done, we will go on ahead and test that transmission out, and we will see just how it does and what I think about it from there. It is nice having that manual PTL. I do want to adjust that, and I want to get it going a little bit better, because as we see, it kind of activates a little bit slow. Well, I've actually tried activating it. I don't know if it's on camera or not, but I did, and it's kind of slow kicking on. So that is something we'll have to address. And then I do want to throw a deck under it, and I want to see how it does with that. Just take it and go around the front perimeter of the front yard, and that's probably about it. So yeah. Let's get the airbox put on it, everything else done, and go from there. So let's go on ahead and let's see what happens. I checked the oil, made sure the oil was good. I added some to it because it was getting a little bit low, and it was already low even before. And we also have that crank seal out on the passenger side, so I got that took care of. Not took care of, but I just added some oil to it like I said. Got the fender pan back on, airbox is back on, the front grill's back on. So I guess what we're going to do now is we're going to fire it up and see if it goes through all the gears. Hopefully it goes through all the gears, and try it out, see how it does, and maybe, thinking about it, throw a mower deck underneath of it, try it out. Sitting over here because the things are right there for the seat to mount to, and I don't want to sit on them. Ready? So I would say playing with it, we have ourselves a decent little unit. All the gears work. It's actually a pretty nice variator. I would say that variator is probably the best one I have so far, at least on a 200 series. I have some pretty decent ones on my 100 series, although even on them, you got to pull the variator pedal back in order to get it to fully engage. So that might be something to consider with this one, is maybe pulling that variator off, maybe not, if we end up stripping this one down. I doubt I will, but I guess you never know. It is a pretty decent little machine though. It's got some good parts on it, that's for sure. So I think for right now, I want to throw a deck on the bottom of it, and I want to at least try spinning a deck on it and seeing how it does. It shouldn't be that hard. I just mount it underneath then the pins. It's got all the mounts there, it looks like, and it's got a belt. So let me do that real fast. I'll throw one under it, and then once I throw one under it, we'll take it out and we will see how it does, I guess. Alright guys, I hate to do this, but unfortunately I'm going to have to. I've decided I'm going to cut the video in half. I figured getting it running and driving was good enough to go on ahead and cut it here. We're at about an hour and 45 minutes into the video. I would go a little bit longer into it and continue on with everything that needs to be done. However, if I do that, the video is over 2 hours long currently where I'm editing it, and I figured cut it in half. That way, you know, it's not as boring. Most people don't normally watch videos all the way through, I don't think. So I'm just going to go on ahead and cut it in half. There you go. I'd say we're at a pretty good stopping point. And yeah, so I want to take a second. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it's your first time checking out my channel, please consider going down below, hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. It tells YouTube that you guys like the videos, and it also tells me the same thing. I know it looks a little bit different. I'm not going to go into everything I've done so far as to not ruin it for the next video. Currently, we need to replace the crank seal, and in the next video, we're going to try running a mower deck on it, see how it does. Hopefully it does that pretty good. So, yeah. And then the other thing that we need to do, like I said, is the crank seal needs to be done, which we'll get that took care of. Should get that took care of in the next video. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.